Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman coming to you from our studios in the Capital Region International Airport, and we're gonna journey down to Ann Arbor right now. Actually, one of our favorite places, and spend a little time with Alan Amici, President and CEO of the Center for Automotive Research, one of our favorite organizations. And Alan, I'm pretty sure you're going to be one of our favorite people too. Welcome to the show.
Oh, good, Chris. Happy to be here. Thank you for that kind introduction.
So let's do a quick little reminder to everybody about what CAR is, the Center for Automotive Research.
Sure, happy to. CAR is a nonprofit, a 501c3 organization, and our mission is to inform and advise. And we inform and advise our constituents in three ways. The first is through our original and independent research. The second is through events planning, like our annual management briefing seminar coming up in end of July this year. And then the third is we like to bring people together, like-minded and unlike-minded people, to talk about problems in the industry and potential solutions for automakers and for suppliers.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Traverse City outing that you have annually is incredible. And of course, we always come up and cover it. And the information we get out of there is sometimes pretty earth-shaking.
Thank you for saying that, Chris. This is year 58 for MBS in Traverse City. I mean, it's an amazing event started by David Cole, a number of years ago out of the University of Michigan. We bring auto industry leaders together to talk about tough problems in the industry. What are keeping OEM CEOs awake at night? And so we plan to do that again this year. So please join us.
And there seems to be plenty keeping those people awake at night. So there are always challenges, right?
There are some.
You mentioned Dave Cole and Carla Bailo is in there. You've got a pretty good resource there if you need them. Have you called on them or gotten them involved in helping you?
We had David Cole out to the CAR office about 2 weeks ago. He came in and so under the guise of let's get together for coffee, but we ended up having the entire staff in the conference room, and he really, regaled us with tales of the origin of CAR and how MBS works, and, discussions with industry titans. It was a fascinating afternoon with David. And then I was just on the phone with Carla a couple of days ago. So we still certainly stay connected.
So give me a few of the focuses that you're going to be kind of honing in on with your role.
Okay. We're looking at technology in the automotive industry. So we've assembled now a deep bench in the areas of connected car, of autonomous vehicles, software, and semiconductors. These are some of the tough topics right now facing automakers, whether it's supply chain resiliency, shortening supply chains and maybe doing onshoring, but also the challenges associated with software development. How can automakers get it right and get it right the first time and reduce customer dissatisfaction in that space? So these are critical technology areas that we've assembled a deep team and areas that we're going to be focusing on in the coming years.
So recently, you guys let out of the bag a CAR study related to the FTC and some proposed rulemaking. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is proposed rulemaking that would impose some constraints on the dealer body. And the intent of this is to provide more information to the consumer so consumers can make better decisions. But in this analysis we've done, we found that it does incur significant costs in the dealerships. So in terms of their update to their IT systems, making sure they have good documentation that they make available and keep in good record keeping. And this will create significant costs for the dealers that ultimately in some form will be passed on to consumers. So the intent made sense, is to provide to benefit a more informed consumer, but there are some costs imposed that will probably be passed on to the consumer. So we think that it's possible that legislation needs to be modified a little bit so you reach the intent without the extra costs.
It's actually a nice little process on when it works, and that is before it becomes legislation, the people affected do generally get some sort of input and make them aware of these unknown consequences.
Exactly. And that was the purpose of our study, is to provide an unbiased view of this. We're independent. We're not tied to the dealerships. We're not tied to the OEMs. We do our research and we provide the facts. And hopefully it informs the public, it informs the government, and it informs the dealer body.
So, speaking of David, he kind of grew up in the industry. I mean, I think he sat on Dad's knee in some of the board meetings when he was young. But what is your career path to get here?
My background is all automotive. So I grew up in the Detroit area, and I certainly loved to turn a wrench during my high school days and work on cars. So I joined Chrysler right out of the University of Michigan, and I had a 30-year career there, primarily in product development. And eventually I was the head of electrical engineering we moved from Highland Park to Auburn Hills. So I was the head of electrical engineering in Auburn Hills. And then later I moved to Torino, Italy with my wife and kids. And I was the head of electrical engineering in Torino, Italy for the EMEA portion of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. I also led the connected car program at Chrysler. So that was branded as UConnect. And I think people know that infotainment platform, but also those connected car platforms as well. So I'm a technology guy. I love the auto industry. We at Car, we love to talk about the auto industry. We've got a bunch of auto industry geeks that really dig that kind of topics. And recently we've added some talent that are people, kind of industry heavyweights that also enjoy the industry very well. So,
well, listen,
invite
Alan,
people to come visit us at Car.
I think you're the right guy in the right spot, and we are going to visit you not only this way, but certainly up at your annual meeting. Alan Amici, President and CEO of the Center for Automotive Research, based in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back.